What are all those weird ass noises? Anyway, it's the background music of this place. And it's just a bunch of it's nothing. There's nothing to it. It's boring. Let's start the stream. Anyway, so last time, what were we doing? We found the main quest. We found the MSQ of this game, as it were. And yeah, so we got a weird ass artifact. Do we see that in our manifest or whatever? Alien artifact. Yes, we have one alien artifact. It's just in our cargo hold. We can probably accidentally eject it, which won't be fun if we do that, because then that's the end of the game, because there's no more MacGuffin to carry around. So let's not do that. Let's instead do the game. Now, one thing that I have to say is, well, we got to the story quest. We upgraded a ship, so we have where is it? Here it is. So we moved to the Orion here from the starter ship, which is the second ship up. Now, it's okay. You can upgrade it a hell of a lot more. The problem is, apparently, I was reading a guide, and apparently you really want the Centurion to start the main quest. Hey, Medesign, how's it going? Now, I'm not going to sit here and grind until we get a Centurion, just because the guide said so, but it is probable / possible that that will just hit a snag in the MSQ and end up stuck and just having to, you know, grind for more levels. Essentially, it's basically just like a role-playing game in that sense. Hi, Domadet. Going. So yeah, if we get to that point, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll just we'll do the missions, and we'll do other missions that are along the way and keep it going. That's all we can do. Oh, I did. Okay, that's right. It's always mouse in this area. I was like, did I forget to change it to keyboard input? But no, I'm fine. So, the last stream also was very quiet, I realized afterward. So I've fixed the audio. You should be able to actually hear stuff now. So what does this guy have to say? He's going to tell us, like, why are you talking to me? Go away. But he should recap the quest that we're going on.
What are you doing here? You should have been gone long ago.
Some other business came up.
This delay is risking us both.
I thought this job was just a run of iron to the Liverpool refinery base.
The artifact, is it safe?
Sure. Why wouldn't it be?
Just get it off this base.
What's the hurry?
You don't want to know. Trust me, bring the iron from here to the Liverpool refinery in Newcastle. Your ship has already been loaded. Deliver the iron, return here, and I'll pay you $15,000 for yourself, along with a $5,000 bonus.
Okay, it did that again.
My artifact.
All right, I'll get right on it. You made your point.
I hope so, for both our sakes.
I don't know what that audio glitch was. I mentioned that last time, but nobody could hear the audio last time, so nobody knows what the hell I was talking about. But yeah, for some reason you can't. Set of credits, it was like a completely different voice. Anyway, it's not important. What is important is that we go to the place. So, how much money do we have? Do we have money to do anything? Finn sounds like financial. Okay, so it's financial in one. It's one line of financial, and the rest is like a kill breakdown. Okay, I guess I just didn't know where to put that. So 14,000 cash, that's okay, I guess. Let's make sure that we've repaired and everything. Nothing to repair. Nothing to repair. We bought this one. Right, you have to go into sell and then... Okay, we have all the maps, it sounds like. Good. And do we have all of the missiles that we need? Ship, yep, we have 10 of those. Yeah, so... Oh, wait, that was not what we have. This is what we have. The problem with this interface is you hit sell to see what you have, and then you might accidentally click something and sell it. It's... You know, it was the 90s. They were still figuring things out. Let's see. So what the guides are saying is you want a fully loaded out Centurion to do the MSQ. And that's going to take so long. Like a really long time. We'll just see what we can do. And we'll keep upgrading this Orion. They say the trade-in value of the Orion is like almost, a fully upgraded Orion is like almost the amount of a Centurion. And you would think, why not just save up the amount of the Centurion? And that's a great question. I think the problem is, oh, hey, B-Bake, over there on YouTube. How's it going? I think the problem with that is you can't do the harder missions and you can't get the money fast enough, and so it's just like a real slog. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Also figured out last time that you should run sometimes. So we're going to be running when it's not our problem. Because that, you know, we only have 10 torpedoes, so. Let's just get going. I thought I had set this thing up to display YouTube comments, but they're not coming up. Twitch only equals false. Maybe if I just delete the whole Twitch only thing. Or reload source thing. Oh, it reloaded automatically. Okay, hopefully that'll do. Anyway, good that you got a nice day going. Nice chill day. Trying to make Sundays a good chill day so that I feel like streaming more often. And it seems to be working so far. Okay, let's go. Oh, wait, no. Let's not go, because we have to pick up missions that are on the way to the Liverpool system. So, do we have a map in game? I don't think we have a map in game. We have to like actually go up and then come back down to see the map. We could do that. Nothing wrong. Well, no, but we're on a delivery mission now, and that's another thing I read that tripped me up last time. If you take a delivery mission, you cannot land anywhere except the place you're delivering to. So if you take multiple delivery missions, they better all be to the same place, so you're going to fail the other ones. So, okay. Let's see if I can get a map. See if I can get a map in... out here in browser window. I don't need that. I need some kind of this. Okay. Wing Commander Encyclopedia. We have a map. Privateer. Gemini sector map. Is that going to work? Is that going to get us something? Ooh, oh, wait. No, there was. Gemini sector map. Okay, here we go. That's tiny. Oh, that's tiny. Okay. Oh, I see what it's doing. I need like an actual map. Do you have an actual map? Not really. Okay, let's just deal with what we have here then. So we are here, New Detroit. And we need to go to Newcastle. Oh, it's only 2 jumps away. We got New Constantinople and Newcastle in between. There we go. That's not bad. They're starting us off easy here on the MSQ. Back to the game. No, stop that. Okay. So it is actually important that we unlock the Merchants and Mercenaries Guild for the extra missions and such. How much is this?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
To join our guild. We broker for the most reputable clients. That means we guarantee your work and your compensation. The Merchants Guild primarily schedules cargo runs, but we also place big bounties on pilots that attack our own members. It will only cost you 1,000 credits to join our ranks. How
only 1,000? Why didn't I do that before?
Great! We will automatically debit the service fee from your current banking system. The Merchants Guild appreciates your business. Thanks for joining. You'll be glad you did.
Yeah, probably. Okay, and then how much do they want?
Listen up. If you're looking for fame and glory, you've come to the right place. Just remember, the Mercenaries Guild not only gets you the best jobs, we guarantee payment. In this business, that's worth thinking about. The application fee is now 5,000 credits. Our rates have only recently gone up. Well worth the price, though. The Mercenaries Guild offers the most challenging missions and a premium compensation plan. What do you say? You with us?
Okay. All right, good. So now we got all the missions.
The application fee will be automatically deducted from your account. Thank you for joining the Mercenaries Guild. Go get 'em, Tiger.
Rawr. Anyway, so these guys have the best missions, apparently. Touch screen. Look at it. Even in the future, they have CDs. CDs nuts, all right. Okay, so let's see. Patrol 8 nav points. Kind of don't really want to do that. Oh, but that's a lot of money. 8 nav points, though. That's quite a distraction. 6,800 to get rid of pirates. Okay. Trouble in the New Detroit system. Hit nav point 8. Okay, interesting. What do the Merchants Guild have? Okay, deliver something to Magdalene. So we need Liverpool. Like, we can only deliver things to Liverpool. Deliver cargo, nope. Magdalene, nope. To Perry, nope. Okay, so we can't do anything for them. Oh, somebody talking to me. Hold on a second. Oh, okay, I see. All right. Eliminate retro presents. Yep, sorry guys, we're done. The game told me that we can't do this anymore. Okay, let's see. Wait, this is the Merchant's Guild again. Go away. No, I went to the Mercenary. See, okay, let me tell you why that keeps happening. So, I read that the Mercenaries Guild gives the best missions. So my brain is like, it must be on top, right? And that's why I kept clicking that. Anyway, but they're right there. Okay. So we got 17,228. Oh. No, we need to look at these missions to see if there's maybe a another 8 nav points, the same ones in New Detroit. Okay, that's really weak. 2707, ew. Okay, in the Ragnarok system, we're not going there. Ragnarok system, we're not going there. Nav 6, but that we don't need these weak ass missions. Okay. Okay, so it's just the Mercenaries Guild then. Touch the screen. 8 nav points. And see, because the ones here that have single nav points they pay better. Want to get them from here. I would not be surprised though if they were also harder. So that's something that we have to worry about is the difficulty level. So basically you leave the starting system, and we saw that last time. Left the starting system and suddenly there are encounters where 3 or 4 pirates are killing, and I just couldn't deal with that because the ship sucked too much. So this may or may not be doable, but let's just take that. There was another one on the normal ass computer that was also a go to each nav point. This is the best paying single nav point in those same 8 nav points. So that should get us the most money, getting those 3 missions right there. Okay, now might launch and get our ass handed to us, but I did save, and if this was a big mistake, then we'll just go back and do it again. All right, now to remember how to play this freaking game. Oh, also I reinstalled the might be able to hear, I reinstalled the MIDI. Oh, what the heck? Oh. Ah! Getting attacked by something. Oh, it's a pirate. Okay. Ah! I'm already getting my ass handed to me? I reinstalled the MIDI emulator, the Roland MIDI emulator, so now it sounds nicer. Is that a pirate? That is a pirate. Okay. Ow! What the hell? Yeah, I'm really gonna need to upgrade stuff. Ow, ow.
You're nailed.
Oh, wait, is there another guy? Oh, there's 2 of them. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, look. Let me just restart here. Because I need to remember how to play this freaking game. Oh, we're gonna have different missions now. I'm an idiot. Anyway. Okay. Anyway, come in here, talk to this guy, just buy the thing. Hi, yes. Accept.
Great.
Great. Okay. Go away. Go to Mercenaries Guild. Talk to you.
Just we can the Mercenaries Guild and a premium. What do you say?
What do I say? Yes. Accept. Good.
Good. Thank
you.
you.
Okay. So what do you got? What do you got, lady? Disc 1. See, now we got shittier missions. Yep. Shittier missions. But that's probably for the best. We need to figure out how to... Like, if we're even up to the task here. Ship to Oxford, Padre. No, can't do any of those. And 8 nav points, New Detroit. Gotcha. We're not going to that system. We're not going to that system. We're not going back to Troy. Fuck that. Tellers, we're not going there. Not going there. Okay. So, Mercenaries Guild. Defense of New Detroit. Okay, so that's as soon as we launch, there's going to be a problem. Blockade Point Alpha, we're not going there. Nav 1 in New Detroit, we'll be doing that on the patrol. Nav 3 will do that on the patrol. Okay. Okay. I don't want to save with these missions because if I just shouldn't take any missions and just do the story quest, then that might be what we have to fall back on. Okay.
How's it going, friend?
So we've launched into a nice peaceful environment this time. That's good. Mission cargo. Oh, you know, I should have also grabbed some whatever the frick they'll want at this other base so I could sell it. But too late now. Okay. Nav point. That's what we're doing. And I want to jump to... I want to jump to... Wait a minute. New Constantinople. That's the one. Okay, we'll do this crap on the way back. Because I don't think this goes away when you land. Okay, our shields are full. Who do we got? Oh, we got pirates. Oh, that's a merchant. Where's the pirate? Pirate's there. Oh, is there 3 of them? I don't like that. That's a merchant. That's a pirate that's attacking my... Oh, they're all on my ass. Yeah, I'm already kind of like, they've destroyed my shield generator. Like, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, we may have a problem. We may just need to go back to grinding, which sucks, which really sucks. Where was the last save before I picked up that quest? Well, let's just try it without picking up any quests. Let's do that. But all right, just blah 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 blah. I just want to get this done. Oops, I rejected him.
Hi, the merchants, but it will only. How about it?
How about it? Yes. Okay.
Great. The merchant, you'll be good.
Blah 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 blah. Okay, Mercenaries Guild, go.
Listen up. Just we guarantee in the well, the Mercenaries Guild are and a pre. What do you say? You with us?
Yes. Accept. Okay.
Good. Thank you for go get him.
Anyway. Okay. So, just having done that. What the heck? Oh, it's C. I keep hitting buttons that like more modern games would have menus on, and it's not those buttons. It's not them. Okay. So let's just save that. Now let's just do this quest. Just this quest. Nothing else. Oh, I can't use... What's this? Oh, just a merchant. See, this is a much more peaceful way to do it without picking up other quests, but not going to get as much money, which is kind of a problem. So, what my goal here is... I'm gonna go to this base, drop off the iron, go back, and oh, well, that's a problem. That's a problem right there. Haven't seen that. Does this give us any good information? I don't see any useful information in there. The memory isn't like overflowing or anything. Okay. Well, maybe this will be a short stream. Okay. Well, let's try this again. Tisk tisk. Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Maintain speed and course for contraband search.
I don't got nothing on me.
No contraband detected. You may proceed.
Try to remember everything you have to do when you launch. Get up to speed, make your guns work. Don't forget to do that and then end up in a battle. Okay, just a merchant. Very good. Okay. Thank you. Newcastle. That's what we want.
Prepare to be searched. Maintain speed and course. No contraband detected. You may proceed.
Okay. So the alien artifact is not contraband, I guess. And all the load of quote-unquote iron that he put back there might just be iron. Ooh, I don't like the sound of that. What is that? What is that noise? Who's attacking me? Oh, there's pirates. You know what? I don't need to talk to them. They didn't. Oh no. Oh no. Do a little zigzag. Yay. Okay.
Prepare to be searched. Maintain speed and course. No contraband detected. You may proceed.
Okay. Cool. I don't know what it's supposed to mean if you tell the refinery that I recycle. Is that supposed to be...
Now entering an automatic landing zone.
They never respond to you anyway, if you say something snarky to a base. This is a creepy noise. Nice to see female characters in the game. Yeah, they did that. Uh-oh, come on. You can do it. You can do it, DOSBox. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you, DOSBox. Let's go. Okay. Whew. All right. Nobody's here.
Did you know that the Troy system is known for moving a lot of brilliance? I know a lot of privateers turn their noses up at smuggling drugs, but you don't look like the picky type. No offense. Anyway, you want to hook up with a woman named Taylor. She's well connected with the underworld there. Taylor can get you the contracts. If she likes you, that is.
Okay, so they're telling us about a specific named NPC, Taylor. Interesting. Why would they do that? Does this not have a ship repair? Commodity exchange, merchants guild. No, it doesn't have any ship repair. Huh. Ad break. All right, do we got anything interesting on the way back? Manifests. Okay, so we still only have alien artifact. And we no longer have mission cargo. So they took the iron. If we assume that's what it was. And do we have any deliveries to New Detroit? A load of construction. Nope. Killing of a rogue between Newcastle. Oh, that pays really well. Termination of a pirate. The problem is we're just getting our ass handed to us, like left, right, and center. Like, I don't know. No, it's probably partially a skill issue, but you know, there's only so much I can do about that. Like in the short term. In the long term, I just get better. But you know. Can we carry defend Liverpool. More nav points in the Manchester system. Yeah, I'm really feeling like what I need to do is not take any extra things. Finish this. No missions. Okay. So, get back to New Detroit. And the thing happens that I know that's going to happen. And then maybe we would do a little grinding. Keep forgetting to look for... keep forgetting to buy commodities. I need to... Don't leave the base without buying commodities.
To be searched. Maintain speed and course. No contraband detected. You may proceed.
Okay, thank you. So I didn't enable my guns. Alt tab is screwing with my tab again. Ooh, I've turned off my shields. That's not what I want. Come on, tab. Come on, tab. Come back, tab. I need you. Okay, hold on. I need the freaking... I need tab to work. Well, I guess we don't have afterburners today. It usually comes back after a little while. We really need afterburners if there's some shit. All right. And that's... Come on, tab. Come on, tab. Okay, bounty hunter of some kind. Hopefully they're not after me. Stupid me. WAS does not work in this game. Stop trying. This is very quiet when you don't take missions.
Maintain speed and course for contraband search. No contraband detected. You may proceed.
Really like some afterburners though. Yeah, afterburners are good. It's just my freaking DOSBox being DOSBox. If we need to restart,
Now entering an automatic landing zone.
we'll look at that in a second. But first, we go to the bar. And what do you know? It's that Taylor the dude was talking about.
Heard this from a pirate who left here 2 days ago. You wouldn't believe the trouble Oxford has been having with data theft. These database jackers I know are looking to trawl the Oxford net. They've been at it for months, but it's a tough crack. I bet it's worth it, though. A lot of valuable info at the Oxford Library.
You could just go check out the book from the library. Okay, so what does this drug runner have to say to us? Where is Sandoval? All those good questions.
Ah, you look just like your picture. Too bad.
After a few drinks, you'll change your mind, Miss,
Call me Taylor. I used to do business with Sandoval.
I'd rather talk about my
Used
face.
to.
What's wrong with it, anyway?
Nothing,
wrong with your
except the police have it
face?
plastered all over the hollows.
Uh-oh.
Sandoval is dead, and they want you for questioning. Tough break, but I'm here to offer you work now that you're between jobs. I need you to make 4 special deliveries for me.
By special, you mean risky and illegal.
And lucrative. The first run pays 10,000
She didn't say no.
credits.
That's lucrative? Thanks, but I got my own leads to follow up.
Right, the artifact. You have it, but you don't know anything about it. I could fill you in after you fly my mission.
I bet she
How
doesn't
about
know
it,
shit
Captain?
either. Well, we have to accept just because it's the story quest. But wait, I said we need to grind. Well, I think we can reject and then come back. Let's find out.
I think I'll check into this artifact business alone.
Bad choice. You're in danger as long as you hold on to that thing. And you're walking away from more money than you ever dreamed of.
Okay. All right, she's still there. So that's fine. Save the game. No, save. Right, I need to hit the correct button to save the game. Okay. All right. Let's I love that the reject option is their face. Yeah. You just go, eh. Come on. Eh. Just, my Anyway, that's about as high as I can get my hands up. Okay. So what are we gonna do now? How much money do we have? Did we get paid? Did Sandoval even pay us? What the hell? No, we didn't get Sandoval's money because he's dead. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So the walkthrough was saying like, oh, the best money in the game is in the story quests, you know, the story missions. It's like, and not the first 2, I can tell you that. Okay. Let's do a couple missions around here for, oh, hi Saddam. Let's do a couple missions around here to try to get, we're in pirate trouble. Problem is that all this stuff is outside of Troy and more difficult. Stray pirate ship somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, I don't know where that would be. Pirate trouble in New Detroit. Nav point 2. Okay, that's just 1. Okay, that's 2 open-ended. We could do a cargo run. Cargo runs might be more our speed right now. Ooh, books delivery. To Hector in the Troy system. And I was just talking about, like, maybe we should get back to the Troy system. Maybe I was just thinking it. I was like thinking maybe we should get back to the Troy system where it's easier. And just kind of use that as a base for a little bit. Or maybe just like shift back and forth between there and here. Hector in Troy. Okay. Okay. Do that one. Get 20k out of it. 20k is good. New Detroit, nav point 3. Address system. We need something that's either in Hector or on the way. And New Detroit. No, let's just do that. 20k. 20k is good. Could probably get a good upgrade out of that. Okay. And before I leave, I gotta remember. All right. Commodity shit. We're on New Detroit. And they sell the highlighted things. And we're going to Hector, which is a mining base, I believe. So the things they sell that they're buying, uranium, apparently. Communications, kind of. You can get a little bit of money. Computers, construction, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is better over there. Food dispensers, hologram. Okay, let's just see what they have. It's because I guess the question is, what are our options even? Okay. All right. So I'm in the game for a second. Plastics, plutonium, uranium, food dispensers, home appliances. Oh, there's a lot of shit. Okay. Okay. So plastics. That's good. That's a good margin, but not very many things to just, you know, low value, high margin. Plutonium. Plutonium. Here we go. Ooh, you take a loss on that. Right, because they're probably mining that stuff out already. You don't want stuff that a mining base would mine. Food dispensers. Here we go. A little bit. You get a little bit of money on that. Come on. Oh, I've ruined it again. Home appliances. Ooh, that's a decent amount. So, okay. So in game, we're seeing home appliances for 77 because it can be anywhere random between here and there. So they'll buy it for anywhere random between 100 and 119. Prefabs. Jesus Christ, there's so much. They're selling so much shit here. What's the best margin? What's the best margin? That's all I want. Well, the best margin was probably that other stuff we saw. What did it work? Plastics. Let's just do that and see what happens. Back to the game. Software, holographics, textiles, weaponry, advanced fuels, plastics. Advanced fuels, not really. Weaponry. No, you don't get much out of that. Textiles, no, not much. Software, computers, communications. Nope, all that stuff. All that stuff sucks. Plastics. There we go. Buy as much as possible. Save. Just save a lot more, I guess. I'm not hearing any bad music. It's always a good sign. So let's see. We need to go to there we go. Penderstar Junction. New Constantinople, New Detroit. gone the other way. They're way up this way? No. That goes through war, pestilence, death, and famine before. I don't like the sound of that. Okay. New Detroit, New Constantinople, Junction, Penderstar, Troy. Now it is escape. Yeah, okay. Oh, God, thank God the tab works again. Don't alt-tab, please. Never. Never alt-tab again. Oh, there's shit. How many? 3 of them? Fuck this shit. Let's get the fuck out of here. Ow. We got hurt a little bit. How bad? Not that bad.
Keep your eyes peeled for trouble, Ace.
And Detroit Junction. That's where we need to go. Let's wait for the shields to regenerate a little bit. Hi, Hellhound. How are you? There's a lot of dudes here, but none of them are coming after me, so that's good at least. Junction, Enderstar, there we go. So in around an hour, might be shifting to Privateer 5. Jay would like to play some Star Citizen before he goes into his surgery, so I want to make that happen. Yeah. Oh, this is the one with, okay, let's... go this way. No, no, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Somebody's getting blowed up over there. It's not me, so that's what's important. Okay, I just need to keep going this way until if I autopilot, I won't hit that asteroid field. Let's just see it. Let's just test it. Did we do it? Oh, this is just... Okay, we did it. Okay, good. So we're at the right nav point, but there's bad guys. I'm not interested in any of you. Just trying to get this cargo to Hector. What's Hector, right? And not Helen? Now I gotta look. Oh, look at all those... No, ow, go. Oof. Alright. Where are we going? Deliver cargo to Hector. Achilles, Ellen, Hector.
Die by the very weapons you adore!
Oh, hi, Retros. Juking him. Yeah, that's right. You can't hit me.
Now
you can't hit me.
Automatic landing zone.
There we go. I know a guy that kind of looks like that guy. Alright, do we have money now? We have some frickin' money now. Alright. And that's what it took. Alright, first thing, repair. I didn't fire any missiles, so don't need to do that. Okay. So what are the main things that we need here? We need some defense. We need some defense like crazy. Oh my freaking god, the shield generator is 150,000 credits. That's twice as much as my ship was. Oh no. But we really need more shields or something. We need something. Okay, what if we sell shield generator 1? 7,500. That gives us enough for shield generator 2. Maybe 3. Just 2. Okay, well 2's better than 1. What is the difference? What is like the stat difference between these things? Is it this? No. I bet this has something in it. Shields. I saw shields. Oh. Eats power. Oh god. In general, get the same level of shields as you have engines and you should be alright. It's best to have more power available. Oh, we need an engine upgrade too. See, this is what I'm running into with my computer right now. I got Barry's old video card, and now I'm running into CPU bottlenecking issues. So I'm like, do I need a new CPU? But then if I get a new CPU, then I might have to get like DDR5s, and I don't have money for that shit. Nobody does anymore. So do I just get like the best DDR4 board and processor available? But that's like, so it'd be better, but like it won't be like last as long. And I don't know. I think a lot of people are going through this exact same thing right now with how memory prices are. But anyway, the point is, so they said your engines should be greater than or equal to your shield generator. So we can't get a shield generator because we don't have the right engines to upgrade the shield generator. So does this thing say no, it just says levels. Just says, oh, that's the reference guide. See, these old games, you had to go through all their crap. Commodity exchange, galaxy, blah, 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 spacecraft, customizing your ship, scanners, weapons. No, come on. Weapons, shields, oh, they also don't really say anything. I want stats, damn it. I want numbers. There's probably something on this wiki somewhere. But you know what? I'm done looking at a browser window. Okay, so in that case, engine upgrade 1, sell. Engine upgrade 2. For 2, buy. Okay. That's I guess the first step in moving forward here. Okay, so now we're in Troy, where things are generally easier, and we should be able to not get as much money, but you know, we won't die, and the missions are actually possible, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, want a load of tungsten to New Detroit. We could just keep going back and forth between here and New Detroit. Uranium delivery to New Detroit. Okay. So that's... Ooh, plutonium to New Detroit. We got 3 to New Detroit. This This is like rolling a 20. This is really good. Load of tungsten. Which one has the most money? 1895. 14. Okay. New Detroit base in the New Detroit system. Accept that. Now I want to see how much this is taking. Oh, the plastics. I didn't sell the plastics. I need to sell the plastic. Oh, it dumped some of the plastics because it needed space for the mission cargo. Uh-oh, I better sell the plastics. Oh, I forgot to sell the plastics. Hopefully we made money on that. I have no idea. Okay. So now we pick up the other New Detroit stuff. New Detroit base. Good. I just want to keep making sure that I have space for the cargo. The rest of the cargo. Detroit base, New Detroit system. Okay. So this one. Very good. Okay. So now we got afterburners out the ass with the engine upgrade. And we're about to get like 45K. Which, yeah, that's pretty good. All right. So what does a mining base have that New Detroit wants? What does a mine base have that New Detroit wants? Okay, mining base has this shit. Okay, nope. Nope, that's a bad one. That's so uranium, plutonium. Oh, that's the stuff that I have in my cargo. Tungsten for sure. Tungsten's the best. It looks like tungsten and gems. Tungsten and gems is what we're looking. And iron. Iron's good too. Okay. That's the plastics I just brought. Iron at 27. Okay, I guess the thing is we need to get the ones that are kind of by the low end of the thing. So in game it says iron is 27. Oh, that's all they have is iron. Okay, well let's go back to the game because that's all we're going to be able to do. Nope. Iron. Okay. Buy the fucking iron and get on the thing. No. Oh, did I just... I didn't just, did I? No, I changed... Okay. Get out of this. Still here. Didn't fuck it up. Okay, save. Save. Did I just save? Hope it did. Anyway. Hi, Alex. Back to home is just raining. Okay, yeah. It's good to have a nice lazy Sunday. The game's going okay. I'm running into some issues. Like I might have to actually grind off stream because it's turning out that before you start the main missions, you really need to have the best stuff. And I do not have that, especially if you're going to be like me and not have played this kind of game in, well, in a couple years anyway. So mostly Nintendo. You were mostly Nintendo until Xbox and then PlayStation. Yeah. I mean, I'm just old enough that at a certain point, far enough back. Oh no! Uh-oh. No. Not dealing with this. Not dealing with you. No. Come on, gotta get that missile lock off me. Oh, for a 90s game, yeah, this was definitely state of the art for the 90s. There's no question about that. Yeah, this was like one of the most popular games of 1993. And I definitely spent a lot of time on it back in the day. The fact that I played this game on release says something about how damn old I am. Where am I? Did I just afterburner off the map entirely? Okay, whatever. I guess we're going through the asteroid field. Oh, no, we got around the asteroid field somehow. Oh, yeah. Okay, so look at this, look at what this engine upgrade did. I can hold down the afterburner now, and the engine power doesn't go down, like, at all. Constantinople.
Business treating you well?
Yeah, sure. Merchant. Business is good.
Good to see a friendly ship.
Yeah, really. No, I don't have anything else to say. That guy. Yeah, it's a Wing Commander spinoff, but it kind of went its own way. Privateer 2 didn't have the Wing Commander name attached to it anymore. Yeah, New Detroit. And then Chris Roberts just started going... Like, he basically moved from Wing Commander to these kinds of games. So, Star Lancer, Freelancer, and, yeah, it was almost disrespectful that... It was almost disrespectful that they used Origin as the name for their game store. It's like, that's not Origin. Origin was the company of my childhood. You are not them. You're an imposter. Oh, Command & Conquer is also EA now? Yeah, I guess they are, aren't they?
Now entering an automatic landing zone.
What does EA even do anymore? Do they have Call of Duty, or are they Battlefield? Just say it. Okay, they're Call of Duty. Tanic was over there trying to mouth Call of Duty, and oh, they are. No, one of them I'm pretty sure is Activision. So Activision is wait. Activision is Call of Duty. Okay. So EA has Battlefield. All right. Yeah, it's all just like, yeah, they're the same thing. Okay, sell all the iron. Oh, yeah, see, we went from 27. We bought this iron for 27 and it's selling for 60. So that's how capitalism works, baby. All right. So what can we do with 48? 48 whatevers. 48,000. What can we do with that? We didn't take any damage or use anything, so should be good to go there. Okay. Oh, okay. J. Allen Brack of Blizzard infamy started at Origin in the 90s as a QA tester, but no love lost for that guy. Okay, so we got Shield Generator 2 for that. We got Shield Generator 3 for that. Engine upgrade 3 is 60k. Ew. So if we have 48k and we can sell this for 75, and we can sell that for 20. This This is a spreadsheet. 9,500 plus 48 plus 20,000. We basically have 7,550. Okay, now I have to be careful not to sell when I click back into this window. Okay. And then we can buy. $30 and 60. Ooh, 30 and 60. So we're 15K short. Oh yeah, that's right. I knew you were a QA tester, but I forgot who for. The OG Xbox version of Madden 07 has your name in it. How many bugs did you find in Madden 07? Not enough. Okay, so we'll just get the next shield. We'll get the next shield upgrade. Sell that. Wait, was 50K for the... No, it was 30K because we're looking at shield generator 2. Okay, shield generator 2, sell 1, sell shield generator 1. We now have no shields, so that's bad. Shield generator 2, buy. Okay, cool. So then our next thing would have to be freaking engines. Engines 2. So it looks like the gameplay loop right now is just basically afterburner through shit and upgrade. And the thing is, though, you don't need to freaking upgrade this stuff. Like, I can just grind this off stream and, you know, run these cargo missions back and forth, get the Centurion, and then start to deck it out, you know? So I'll have to do that off stream. I guess I'll start doing a little bit of it now until it's Star Citizen time. But yeah, it looks like we need some freaking some grinding here, unfortunately. Okay, so maybe we can, well, okay. I was thinking about upgrading the guns, but let me tell you why I'm deciding against that. Because basically what I just said is like, really, I shouldn't have bought those shields and shit, because, like, what's really going to happen is just afterburnering through people with goods until I have enough for a Centurion. So yeah, there's really no point to I was upgrading guns or anything, so I'm not shooting at people because I'm just afterburnering. So anyway, what do we got? P5 Persona 5. I'm guessing that's Persona 5. Usually just yeah. You still couldn't kill the boss. Oh, they fucked up. Okay, pick up a load of communications, ship to the Perry system. That's really... Okay, but this is also at Perry, but these ones pay so bad. Look at that. 6K. No, but 4K. They're both 4K. Ew. Holographics to Oxford. And here we go again to the Troy system. Okay, so those are the three we've got. Do we have any complimentary system or shipping offers to defend? Delivery to Hector. Oh, okay. So we got 2 going to Hector for 5 figures. So it looks like that's going to be it. Yep, that's what it's going to be. So exciting. So exciting. Yeah, I wanted to progress the mission this time around, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But we know what to do now. So we can definitely start getting where we need to go. Okay, so we do this and we get 25K-ish. Just keep going back and forth. Save this. Okay. Buy some more shit for the base. What do they want? Okay, I'll just say what is on the low end of what they're selling here. Food dispensers, 70. Okay. Food dispensers, the low end is 71 and this is 74. So I'm just going to buy all the freaking food dispensers. Save that again. Oh, Persona has furries in it? I don't even know. I don't even know. That's one of those things I'm under a rock about. I've had chips here this whole time and I haven't had a single one. Should probably do something about that. Oh, my engines are going down now because of my better shields. The music is very Quest for Glory or King's Quest, kind of.
Let me know if you hit trouble in my quad.
Well, yeah, between the last stream and now, I reinstalled the Roland MIDI emulator. So the MIDI sounds better now. But yeah, that little cutscene right there for the jump, you know, at that time, that was like, whoa, it's like I'm really jumping, man.
Business treating you well?
Yeah, thanks, dude. I'm gonna move these chips over here, where I'm more likely to eat them with my right hand. And with the mic not in the way. And it'll be the second stream in a row where I'm trying not to make chewing sounds. Not interested in your bullshit. Not gonna deal with it. No, not interested in their bullshit. Just gonna go away. This is the right. Okay. I didn't want to start using my afterburner and then find out, oh wait, we're still in the asteroid belt. That would have been hazardous to health. So these are both going to the same place, right? Cargo to Hector, cargo to Hector. Yeah, okay. I was like, did I screw that up? Did I just see Troy on both? But okay, no, we're good. This game This game is making Starfield look bad. Yeah, the unskippable cutscenes, it's like... It's not boring because it's short, you know? It's short and they're cool for what they are. And it's basically just saying, like, we're traveling now. Oh, hi dragon. Oh, hello there, very much. Yummy chip. Yeah, it is almost more like a relaxation break. But yeah, you were saying hell there, Barry. We're kind of in a grind situation. Finding that I'm not upgraded enough to do the story quests. So just starting the grind for the rest of the stream, and then I'll grind the rest off stream. And then get to the story quest next time. But we're gonna shift to Star Citizen in about half an hour. Privateer 5. Ooh, there we go. So we bought him for 74, we're selling for 106. That's decent. That's decent. Nope, nothing to repair. Weep. those sounds. These sounds, man. Oh, hour and a half. Oh, okay. Hour and a half to Star Citizen. Might take a longer break then, in between this and Star Citizen. I was just gonna do a BRB screen and move some things around. But in that case, yeah, so we'll go for another half hour, and then I will shove all of these chips in my face in between streams, and then we'll be back with Star Citizen. So the reason that I have to shut down in between is right now I'm streaming this directly from my PC. Lately I've instead been shipping the audio and video to my laptop, and that's doing the encoding, and that's doing the actual streaming, so that the PC isn't dealing with encoding. This time I'm streaming from the PC because I got Barry's old video card, and there was an issue that he had with his card, with this card and his new motherboard or CPU. Something was going on where it was like hanging, and wanted to make sure that I didn't encounter the same issue before I pay for it. And I'm not encountering that. It only happened when he was streaming, like actually streaming out to the internet, and so that's why I had to check it like that. So, but when I go back to Star Citizen, I want to use the laptop to encode again, because Star Citizen, oh god, it takes up so much CPU. I do not want my CPU encoding the stream too. So, anyway, that's a little behind the scenes, in case anybody was interested. So, okay, we got 52,000 credits at this point. Yeah, it was a real deal. It helps, you know, it helps to know people sometimes. So thank you very much, Barry. Yeah, it was a great deal on this card. And it's got me starting to look at my CPU. Like I said earlier in the stream, it got me looking at my CPU like, now you're the bottleneck. Now you're the problem. But I don't know. I don't know if I can do anything about that right now. We'll see. All right, where else? Where are we going to grind to next? Okay. Gems to New Constantinople. Munchen and Tingerhoff. New Detroit. And this one's going to Beaconsfield on Auriga. Okay, so none of those are going to the same place. Mission computer. Death of a pirate. Nope. Scout. Nope. Search and destroy. Nope. Oh, okay. We got uranium to Beaconsfield in the Auriga system, so that's same as one of the other ones. Good. Okay, so that's the one. Beaconsfield and Auriga got 17k for that. Gonna get 17k for that. And what was that? This one? No. This one? Yep. So 17, almost 17 plus almost 15 is almost 32. Yeah, almost 32. So okay, that's pretty good. So what is Beaconsfield, and then what kind of a base is that? I don't even know. I've never been there before. I betcha anything. It's on the wiki. Beaconsfield is a Terran refinery base in the Auriga system. Okay, so it's a refinery base. Oh wait. Oh no, this is a mining base. Okay, so we're going from a mining base to a refinery base. So mining bases sell this shit. What do we got? What do we got that we can buy here? Basically iron and uranium. Iron for 44, uranium for 440. Iron for 4. Iron is on the expensive side. Uranium is on the cheaper side. So we'll buy uranium. Gonna go check out your Switch. Okay. Have fun over there. A lot of good games on that. Okay, so we'll buy all the uranium we can carry. Right? Yes. Okay. That wasn't very much, so these missions must really have loaded down. Manifest. Yeah, they really did. 29 things. Financial 43. Okay. Okay, save the game. Am I forgetting anything? I'm pretty sure I'm not. Okay.
Prepare to be searched.
Yes.
Maintain speed and course.
Okay, Auriga system. Where the hell is that? Where is it? We haven't been there yet. Oh, here we go. Oh, it highlights it in red. How nice. I didn't even notice that before. I know I noticed that when I was a kid. I know, because now I'm like, yeah, I knew that. What am I talking about? But yeah. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps from there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, no, so we go this way. So, New Constantinople, Newcastle. Okay. Yeah. So it's basically the same old New Detroit route, but stop that.
No contraband detected. You may proceed.
Yeah, of course not. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm not carrying the bad stuff. No.
Oh, you upgraded the gay in your case? Oh, the fans weren't there before. Okay. So it wasn't just the that lightsaber stuff that didn't work out. It's the gayest star in the universe sitting on your desk. Band's done in 30. Bar took 2. Yeah, and then 2 hours just to find out that it didn't fit in the case. That was a damn shame. Didn't fit on the motherboard, I should say, to be more accurate. What is this? Oh, it's the asteroid belt. I didn't. Okay. Oh no. It's the asteroid field. Do not get hit. Do not get hit. Do not get hit. Oh no 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 no. I'm just like afterburnering slightly. No 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 no. Oh no. Mommy. Mommy. No. No, 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 no. Oh. Asteroids. Am I through? Am I through? I'm through the asteroid field. Okay, go, 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 go. Oh, shit. I didn't put it back. I didn't put it back on the fucking game. It's been there for who knows how long. Anyway. Sorry about that. I was worried I was going to do that. I knew it was going to happen eventually. It always happens whenever I switch windows. It's not even my spreadsheet. That's why it looks great. Go, 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 go. Oh, that is so many fucking guys shooting me. Have anything damaged? My maneuvering jets are damaged. See, eventually you can get a repair droid, and anything that's not completely destroyed can be repaired mid-flight with the repair droid. Slowly. Very slowly. But, you know, it's a thing that happens. Detroit... Newcastle. It was Newcastle, right? Sure. Yes, Newcastle.
Prepare to be searched. Maintain speed and course. No contraband detected. You may proceed. Let me know if you hit trouble in my quad.
How about the trouble that I'm hitting right now? But you got this. You got this, guy. I believe in you. I'm just gonna go this way and let the militia take care of that. Incoming ad break. That's fine, I guess. Yeah, I think it is kilometers per second. I mean, it is space after all. What's for dinner? I'm not sure. I've got this whole bowl of chips and salsa here that I'm trying to get through, but this is really not the time for chips and salsa, to be honest. I'll get it through. I'll get it in between streams. But yeah, I don't know what's for actual dinner. I think Tanic is probably... I don't know, he might be thinking about that right now. Beaconsfield. Yeah, okay, Beaconsfield. I should probably do that in between the streams, though. If I'm going to be cutting out and coming back, might as well, you know, get all that taken care of.
Now entering an automatic landing zone.
Who's up late commanding some wings? Maybe I want wings for dinner. Maybe that's what we have wings? Where is that dragon? Command those wings to get in your mouth. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that sentiment entirely. Barry, explain the side quest that Tannic went on. Do you know where? Do you have line of sight on Tannic? Junie, are you back from the ad? I'm gonna take that as a no. Everybody's trapped in an ad break. That's okay. I'm just doing nothing right now anyway. Repair those things. Yep. Anything in here? Nothing to repair. Okay. I think should everybody be back? Well, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody should be back from the ad break. So I can triumphantly announce that I don't know what kind of wings we have yet. It all depends what's in the freaking freezer. But whatever there is, that sounds awesome. The humor in going from Wing Commander to Star Citizen. 30-year game jump, yet they're the same thing. Yeah, I mean, there is a reason for that. It's the same dude. It's the same dude. Star Citizen is Privateer 5, essentially. That's, yeah. So it's not really a different stream. Magdalene on Padre, Origa. Oh, that's a bounty mission. Why are you giving me a bounty mission? Another Magdalene on Padre. Okay, that's load of home entertainment to Magdalene on Padre. Okay. Okay, let me make sure. Padre, Magdalene base. Padre, Magdalene base. Padre, Magdalene base. Pick up a load. I just want to make sure. Pick up a load of and ship to. Requires delivery. Load of home entertainment transported. Okay. This is awesome. That's going to be a lot of money. A lot of money. A lot of money. It's going to be over 45k. The people of Magdalene yearn for cheap TV. Yeah. They need their copies of Wing Commander on DVD with the really shitty looking Kilrathi. I've heard it's not bad. It's like a decent movie for what it is. But I just can't get over, and I haven't watched it, strangely. But yeah, I hear it's yeah, decent, but yeah, exactly. What am I supposed to do with that?
You look like you've done a little piracy in your time.
Hey.
I happen to know that sometime in the next month or so, Oxford Library is going to be receiving a shipment of rare, valuable books. Or not receiving it, if someone smart intercepts the freighter. Get it?
Huh. I wonder what we're supposed to do with that information. That'll probably come up as a story mission. Matthew Lillard was a weird casting choice. Main character has super math powers. Those are interesting ideas. Interesting idea. As in, I don't know if good or bad. We shall see, I guess. Okay, so 85. Right. So I'm not spending this fucking money. 85,082. So I just want to get all the way to freaking 2,000. I mean 200k. All the way to 200k so I can buy the Centurion outright, and the trade-in value or the sale value of all the accessories will buy some basic accessories for the Centurion, and I can just go from there. So that's the idea. And this mission here will get a nice fucking boost toward that. Manifest. Okay, so we have only 6 cargo spaces left. Okay, so that's not really much to fit other things in. So where are we going? Magdalene in the Padre system. Magdalene. I must have spelled that wrong. Yes, I did. Yes. I'm not going to switch to the screen this time so that I don't fuck it up later. Oh, it's a pleasure planet. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So what does whatever the fuck we're on? This is a refinery, I think. What does a refinery have that a pleasure planet wants? Oh, they're right next to each other. Okay. So we have plastics. Plutonium is... I just sold the plutonium and brought that stuff. Okay, so what's the cheapest? 43. 43... Oh, no, that's expensive for plastics. Food dispensers, 97. Food dispensers, that's expensive for food dispensers. Home appliances, that's expensive for home appliances. Prefabs, that's in the middle for prefabs. Is that it? Oh, it's bugged. There we go. Mining equipment. What does a pleasure planet need with mining equipment? It doesn't, they won't buy it. Okay, interesting. Construction. They would need that, but that's a shitty price for the construction equipment. Okay. I did not roll good on the construction equipment. It's having a lot of trouble with the alt tabbing. Medical equipment, $495. That's okay. That's not a good price for that either. Holographics. That's a good price for the holographics. Ooh, but the margins are terrible. You would think a pleasure planet would want all the holographics, you know? All the like hollow porn or something? Like, really? You would think so. I need to catch up on chat. It's my popcorn time. Okay, yeah. This kid practicing his theremin trumpet. Yeah. It's what they had. Appliances, you mean you have to move these refrigerators and these color TVs? Barely. Absolutely. Textiles. It's an okay price for textiles. And they sell... Okay, the margin is kind of shitty, but it's the best so far. We're not doing so hot on the randoms here. Okay, well it's textiles. I can only buy 6 of them anyway, so I don't know why I was taking that much time to figure it out. Anyway, save. So we've done everything, right? We got all the missions. Yeah, we got all the missions. We got all the cargo. Still have no idea where we're going, but let's go. Okay. There's the Padre system. Okay, so we can approach it from one of 2 directions. Either the way we came or the other way. So from Junction or from... Looks like it's fastest to go back the way we came. Okay. New castle. Fursuit. How did I miss that? Fursuit shaped spacesuit. That's a tongue twister. You try saying fursuit shaped spacesuit. Who's that over? Who's yelling at me? Oh, Barry's yelling at me on chat and in real life. Oh my god. See, and I've tabbed out so many times that my tab button's broken again. But it comes back. We'll be fine. I think. I hope. Nope, still don't have... Okay, New Constantinople.
Prepare to be searched. Maintain speed and course. No contraband detected. You may proceed.
One day I'll figure out. One day I will figure out how to make the tab button come back on command. But for now, I guess we're just gonna take a leisurely stroll toward this jump point. Oh no. Oh no. I spilled salsa on myself. In space, nobody can hear your Fourth Amendment. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, the Bill of Rights obviously went away at some point.
Prepare to be searched. Maintain speed and course. No contraband detected. You may proceed.
These are obviously not space Americans. Whatever the world government. It's just like I can't believe I'm saying this. It's just like the conspiracy theorists said about the world government taking away your rights. God damn. That made me hurt. The image of me, yeah. Yeah, if I had this ship in real life, I would need, yeah, there would need to be vacuum cleaner, there would need to be, I would need a dedicated salsa sponge. Oh no, oh, I kinda need this, kinda need the, afterburners now. Kinda need them now. Come on. Well, I might just have to fight these guys. No, 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 no.
You're nailed, pal.
I'm gonna be killed by DOSBox. Are you serious? DOSBox is gonna kill me.
Cargo before you blow, will ya?
I need the afterburners to play this game properly. There we go. I did save the game before I went on that mission, right? Let's make sure. Missions. Yes. Okay, I still got all the shit. But what we're gonna do, this is gonna be the place where we pause it. I'm gonna work on this shit off stream. We're gonna get to a point that we can actually play the fucking story mission. Because, Jesus Christ. I don't mind this kind of grind on my own time, in my own life. In fact, I kind of, it's meditative. There's a place for it, I use Final Fantasy 14 a lot for that before bed. I'll just like grind out like, I don't know, fates or mission, what are those fucking things? Allied Society quests, stuff that requires zero brain power. And this would work, and I will start doing that so that we can have streams where we progress the plot and don't die trying. But I'll be back in about an hour, probably, with some Star Citizen. So not going to raid out this time. I'll raid out when Star Citizen's done. But in fact, I'll go to the BRB slate even though I don't know why I would go to the BRB slate, but we'll be right back. I'm going to shut off the stream. Hopefully some of y'all will be around later. But until then, I'm going to stuff my face. Bye.